Have you ever wanted something so badly that you could hardly breathe without thinking of it? Maybe it was a person, maybe a dream, maybe peace itself. You tried everything, you worked harder, you pushed, you waited, and still it slipped away. If this has ever happened to you, then this story is for you. Once, long ago, in a quiet coastal town, there lived a young fisherman named Elier. Every morning before sunrise, he pushed his small boat into the silver sea and cast his nets with hope. But no matter how hard he tried, the fish escaped him. His neighbors returned with baskets full. Elier came back with empty hands. "Maybe you need a bigger net," said one man. "Maybe you should sail farther," said another. So Elier bought a stronger net. He rowed farther each morning and came home later each night. But still, the sea gave him nothing. He began to feel cursed. Every night he looked at the moon and whispered, "Why do you hide your gifts from me?" One morning, after many failures, Elier grew desperate. He rowed into the deep waters alone, farther than anyone dared. He cast his nets again and again until his arms burned. The sea stayed silent. No fish came. At last, exhausted, he threw down his nets and shouted, "Why won't you give me what I want?" His voice echoed over the waves. Then there was only stillness, only the sound of the sea breathing. For the first time, Elier stopped fighting it. He leaned back in his boat and looked at the clouds. He closed his eyes. He did nothing. Minutes passed. Then a small sound, plip, plip, plip. When he opened his eyes, he saw silver light in the water. A school of fish had surrounded his boat. Without a single cast, they were swimming right into his net. Elier froze in disbelief. He hadn't chased, he hadn't tried, and yet the sea had given him everything. That evening he returned home with the heaviest catch of his life. The village cheered, but Elier said nothing. He only smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. The next morning, he went to the shore again, but this time he didn't rush. He sat on the sand and watched the waves. An old traveler passed by and asked, "Why aren't you fishing today?" Elier looked at the horizon and said, "I used to believe I must chase what I wanted. Now I see when you chase too hard, you scare it away." The traveler nodded. "The sea loves patience," he said. "So does life." Days turned into weeks. Elier's fortune grew. He shared his fish with the poor, and peace grew inside him like morning light. But one day, a young man came running to him, breathless and troubled. "Master Elier," he cried, "I have tried everything. I work day and night, but success runs from me. What am I doing wrong?" Elier smiled gently. "Sit with me," he said. The young man sat down, restless. Elier picked up a handful of sand and opened his palm. "Hold it tightly," he said. The young man clenched his fist. Grains of sand began to fall through his fingers. "Now," said Elier, "open your hand." The young man opened it. The sand rested softly in his palm, still and safe. Elier said quietly, "The harder you grasp, the more you lose. But when you relax, what is meant for you will stay." The young man stared at the sand, understanding without words. That night, as the stars shimmered above the dark sea, Elier thought about his own journey. He remembered how he once begged the waves, how he fought against the current. He smiled to himself. When he stopped chasing, the sea came to him. When he stopped forcing, life began to flow. And so, dear listener, if your dream keeps running from you, maybe it's not because you're weak. Maybe it's because you're holding too tightly. Sometimes, what we desire most can sense our desperation and hides until we are still enough to receive it. When you learn to breathe, to trust, to move with the rhythm instead of against it, What is meant for you will find its way. Not because you chased it, but because you finally stopped. Remember, the flower doesn't run after the bee, the moon doesn't chase the tide. They simply shine, and the world comes to them. So let go a little, rest a little, trust the timing of your own tide. Because sometimes, the moment you stop chasing, it comes to you.